Okay, I guess we're live now with our the next Lely Live webinar. My name is Ben Gelker. So thank you all for joining today to take the time to talk about something that I'm pretty passionate about, as well as the guest speakers that we have today, to learn about certified pre-owned equipment from Lely North America. You know, this is a pretty exciting opportunity for us. We feel like we're introducing a new product category into the market, one that speaks to folks maybe a little bit more like me, that are used buyers, pre-owned buyers. I love the fact that this product gives new life into older robots to extend their life and their usability. By doing that, we're offering a reliable product. I mean, that's been kind of the goal of this whole thing from the beginning, is to provide a product that's going to give used pre-owned buyers peace of mind at a competitive price point, all while being backed by a warranty, right? We are so confident in this product and believe in this product that we feel it warrants putting a warranty with this. So the speakers that we have today, and I did want to let everybody that's online know that if you have questions, please, we want this to be a discussion. We want this to be interactive because, you know, with this being a new product and a new category, we know that there might be a lot of questions out there. So if you all, there's a Q&A button, I think, up in the right-hand corner of your screen. Click on that and send in your questions as we go through. And what we'll try to do is we'll try to answer those questions as we go, to try to keep the discussion between us and you all lively, right? So joining us today, guest speakers, we have Julie from Lely Finance. So she has the insight and the background into you know, financing options with this, and she'll get to talk to us a little bit more about that in a little bit. We have Lance Brown, who is our technical service support manager for Lely North America. Also covers the warranty team at Lely North America. Ryan McFarland, who's a project manager, and Zach McCombs is the team lead in our Lely Reconditioning Center. I'm excited to have both Zach and Ryan on because they've been with Lely for a while now, and they actually were in Pella and involved in bringing the A4 to the market and building A4 robots when they were brand new. So this is kind of a full circle opportunity for them to put the A4 back out into the market. That's probably a little bit of a good lead in, a good segue to talk about how this whole thing started. How did certified pre-owned come to be, and how we came up with the protocol. So Lance, from a service support and warranty perspective, can you give us some ideas, give the listeners an idea of what your team looked at or considered when coming up with protocols for certified pre-owned?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ben. So when we started this project in the second half of 2022, and what we really wanted to make sure we did was take the time, energy, and effort to come up with a plan to know how we could best refurbish these machines that would provide high quality and a ton of value to the dairy farmers in North America that would receive them. So luckily, we didn't have to start from scratch. The Lely Taurus program had been a program for refurbishment of Lely robots in
Who? I think Lance may have. We lost
Lance there for a second.
So I guess I can kind of keep going on with that. So Lance was talking about the fact that we didn't start from scratch. Lely, as a global organization, right?
Used robots into the market.
Oh, Lance.
Yeah.
Hey, we lost you there for just a minute. You had just started talking about the Taurus program in Europe, and then you cut out. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, we started with the Taurus program in Europe, and then talked to some Lely centers in North America that were also refurbishing robots. And so we talked with them, took their best practices, reviewed the list as we started to build our own. We also have a lot of A4 historical warranty claims, parts reliability data, and then also a list of parts that since we started manufacturing the A4, we've provided updates to those parts through that lifetime. And the ones that are most critical to replace to deliver that high quality robot. Finally, what we did is we did a producer survey. And what we really wanted to understand in that survey is what are must-haves around quality, warranty, the most important things to the dairy farmers that may be considering a certified pre-owned, and what are kind of the nice-to-haves. So we took all that information, invested the time and energy to come up with a really good plan, and we're confident that the time invested up front really gave us a high quality plans where we could deliver high quality products and have a lot of excitement internally about the value the CPO product could bring to our customers.
So that's really interesting to hear, right? It sounds like we looked at data, right? Like we looked at because Lely robots, like we are connected to the equipment, right? And we see warranty claim data and reliability and all that sort of thing. So we looked at the data. We came up with lists of parts and so on and so forth, and experience that not only we had but Lely centers had on what would bring allow us to put our best foot forward, right? Is what I hear you saying.
Yep.
So then, that's all good in paper. That's all good on paper and in concept, right? But then the reality sets in, right? And we all know that on every farm, every robot is treated differently and has a different set of life experiences, if you will. I guess, Ryan, why don't you talk a little bit, because you guys, both you and Zach, are at the reconditioning center that's located in Pella, Iowa. It's about, a 5-minute drive from the main factory there in Pella. What have you guys seen in real life, right? Because I got to believe that, there's data and there's concept, but then there's reality and seeing these things come back in. Like, what have you learned that has allowed us to further evolve or develop these protocols and these lists of things, what we do to each one of these robots?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that this part of that conversation. We like to relate each robot to a snowflake. When these robots are coming back in, we get the opportunity to inspect them and take a look at the life that they've had up to this point, and evaluate the things that are opportunities that we can take advantage of, whether they be a wear part or a safety item, and by looking at each one of them, we can help Lance and the rest of the team on making the recommendations of those items that we want to replace or to recondition, to put back on these certified pre-owned units before they go back out and qualify as a like new robot.
Yeah. Zach, I mean, you were involved in building A4s from the beginning, right? And then now you see these robots come back. Like, what sort of things are you seeing? Like, and are we just replacing, some of the parts, or like are the real critical parts getting replaced, and are we trying to put are there improvements that have taken place, that you've seen on these robots, and the parts that are available when you recondition these robots? What sort of things are you seeing there?
Yeah, Ben, thanks. So when these come back, like Ryan said, these are all total, like they're snowflakes. So each one's different. We tear them completely down to bare bones, down to the frame, take everything off of it. When we start to put these back together, we have a parts list that we follow of like the main components that we're going to change on every single one. But as we started getting into these, some of them we notice have more wear than the others. So we'll take a look at all the parts, and there's some parts on there that they're still working, but you can tell like they're going to last probably another year or two, but they're not going to last another 5 to 10 like they've been out in the field already. So we'll replace those as we see them. And there's updates on these that are new updates that are used on the A5. So that's a performance upgrade that will switch everything out on.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, so when the last A4 came off the line in 2018, I believe, and there have been a lot of updates, right? And we're seeing some pictures on here right now of some of the hoses. It looks like are maybe looked old and a little bit of wear, and I've seen a lot of parts with dirt and paint missing and so on and so forth. And then the after picture, I mean, these things look spotless. I didn't, do you guys paint every robot like new, or is touching up the paint and getting them, and what about decals? I mean, what all are you guys doing to make these things look like new before they go back out the door? And what about the milk contact, I guess, is a point as well. What all are you replacing there?
The milk contact, everything that touches milk is either replaced or sanitized. We put all new decals on it. The red panels on the back get resprayed.
Yeah.
But big thing is we've put it through that dry ice process to clean the frames and everything, which is a big help.
Okay. That's amazing. I mean, just to look at this, the before and after picture that was there. And just to take this a little bit further, right? Julie from Lely Finance, tell us about the confidence that Lely Finance has in these. I mean, it sounds like, there's a lot of data that's been looked at, with Lance and his team, and there's a lot of real world experience. Just the history, right? Zach and Ryan saw these things go out new. Now they see them coming back, and they're making them a better version, right? Maybe of what the A4 was when it went off the line. But tell us a little bit about the confidence level that Lely Finance has in these.
Yeah, so I think from a financing perspective, not just does Lely provide a sustainable piece of equipment that's really big in today's world, but also the circularity of the equipment as well. So it gets put out into the market as new, it gets used, it gets refurbished, and it goes back out into the market. So from a financing perspective, I think that is very powerful. When our asset managers look at it and our underwriters look at it, it helps the collateral value of the equipment. So just a bit of information too about Lely Finance. I just want to share a little bit about our partnership. So Lely Finance is a partnership between Lely and DLL that started back 2005, 6, 7. We were the first company to finance robots, and have been with Lely since they entered the North American market almost 2 decades ago now. So we have a really long understanding of the collateral. We have a great partnership with Lely. And as an asset-based equipment provider, we offer loans and leases on Lely equipment. And I think because of this really 10-year partnership with Lely, and coupling on with that, all of the research, the data, the whole refurbishment process, all of the time and energy that goes into getting that certified pre-owned robot ready to go back into the market, we feel extremely comfortable with the collateral. And matter of fact, we offer the exact same financing options that you would get on a brand new A5 robot coming off the line. So if it's a loan, if it's a lease, if it's an extended term, we treat the certified pre-owned just like we would a brand new A5.
That's incredible, right? And I mean, and you look at the picture that's on the screen right now. I mean, it looks like new. You know, you have to take take a glance at it for a minute to see what we have here. And so that's really that's encouraging that Lely Finance, not only does it, when it arrives at the farm, it looks like new. It's gone through an extensive reconditioning process, but you're also able to get financing terms and opportunities just like as if it were a brand new A5. That's incredible. And so, you know, just to go back a little bit more into the process as well, you know, from where we started and to where we eventually end up with these things, and how we're able to get these things looking like new in the picture that's represented here. And I heard Zach mention something about dry ice cleaning. Ryan, for those that haven't ever tried to clean a robot and make it look like new again, can you give us a little bit more details about what is it? How are you cleaning these things? What is dry ice cleaning? I don't, for the folks that don't know what that might be.
Yeah, so dry ice is actually is the solid form of carbon dioxide, so frozen carbon dioxide. It actually gets frozen to a minus 109 degrees Fahrenheit. So a very cold product, as you can see in the picture there. We have to handle with care, but what we utilize is he's dumping that dry ice into a machine that will break those ice particles down into smaller sizes that we get to decide how big they are. And we use compressed air to blow that dry ice towards the robot to start to clean the robot. What it does is, as the dry ice hits the dirt, hits the manure, hits whatever it's hitting, that cold temperature freezes the particle to the point where it shrinks it down enough that it can no longer adhere to whatever it is touching. So you can see there through the picture, the gun, the applicator, spraying the dry ice on there, freezing it to where just the particles will fall to the ground, and we just have to sweep them up from there. The reason we chose
that's
the
where all
dry
that
ice
stuff is on the ground right now. That's amazing.
Yes.
I mean, look at that, right? Like all that stuff just flies right off.
Yep. So the reason we chose the dry ice process as opposed to maybe a power washing or water process, with the dry ice, we can utilize this on the heavy duty frame, as you can see in that picture there, down to the small details of the electrical components within the control box. So we can dial back the amount of PSI of the air, the size of the particles of dry ice, and we can clean that area as well. So we're very, very thorough with these dry ice machines. We have 3 of them that are running in our facility to take care of every aspect of the cleaning that needs to happen within these robots.
So was dry ice cleaning something that we had developed for this, or where else do you see dry ice cleaning used? I mean, that folks might, you know, I mean, yeah, where else do folks use this type of cleaning technology?
So the technology itself is not new. It's new to us, but it's not new. It's an industry that has been growing. We actually learned about it when we started looking into this reconditioning process. There is another Lely Center within North America that had been utilizing it to go out to the farms and do a cleaning process on the robots there. But we're seeing this technology used in the automotive industry, where they're cleaning up engines. We're seeing it in the restaurant business, where they'll go into the restaurant and clean up fryers and the grease that gets left behind there. So it's, like I said, an up and coming technology that has been a very bio-friendly, safe to use, and that has an excellent end result.
That's incredible. So some Lely centers today offer this kind of service that as the robot's sitting there in its location, folks could actually have the Lely Center come out and do some, fine work cleaning with, but then when we actually get these units back in house, we can actually use that same piece of equipment and do an incredible deep, thorough cleaning on them.
As you can see there, Ben, we actually stripped the
Yeah.
robot all the way down to be able to get in every nook and cranny that we can to ensure that it's not just a surface clean. This is an in-depth clean.
So when you take it from this point, right, to where it's just the bare frame and you're building it back, tell us a little bit about how often does the protocol change? I mean, are there new parts, right? Like I had mentioned earlier that sometimes, we would view this potentially as an improved version over the last A4 that came off the line. I heard Zach make mention of, maybe there's even some A5 parts used on this. So yeah, I guess maybe tell us a little bit, like how often do changes happen to the protocol and about the parts that we're using.
Yeah, so the changes, it's a very fluid process in that this robot that we're putting out now is not the same robot that it would have gone out brand new out of the factory back in 2018 or prior to that. So we are evaluating, for one, safety updates. We're going to make sure that the robot has every safety update that's necessary on the robot before it goes out. We want to ensure the safety of our cows, the safety of the farmers, and just the general use of the robot. Also, any software updates. The software continues to improve. So as that improves, we want to make sure and get that in the hands of the farmer. For whatever reason that software update was done, it's necessary. So we're going to put that on the robot. Any component upgrades, I know Zach talked a little bit about those, but if there is a function update that can be done on the robot, whether it's an improved laser or anything along those lines that we can do to help improve the function of the product, we're going to add that to it. So those are some of the upgrades that are happening, but like I said, it's fluid. We have weekly meetings where there are updated items, opportunities, and we evaluate each one of those, whether they're specifically A5 related at the time. Can this be done on the A4 and make a decision of whether that's a certified pre-owned opportunity or not? So it's constantly changing. We're keeping an eye on that.
That's awesome. So we really are, again, trying to put our best foot forward and make this the best version of pre-owned equipment that we can. Zach, being the team lead there, and I know both you and Ryan are working out of the reconditioning facility, but can you give the listeners any sense as to how much volume of work is done here? Is this, what does it take, 10 hours, 20 hours to get through one robot, or like from the moment it comes in to the moment it leaves your reconditioning facility? Yeah, give us some idea of what volume of work is being done there.
So when they come in, we'll pull them off the truck, and we don't like to usually recondition certain years. We keep it all between 16 to 18. So if it's a 16 or 18 that comes in off the truck, we'll rip the bag off and look at the frame. So we need to start with a good frame. Look at what CPO they want, because there's two options. There's CPO plus or just regular CPO. Start stripping it down. We'll take the mothership off, all the upper arms. We typically leave the wagon on just because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Take all the components off. We'll mark a bin with that serial number of robot to take down dry ice bay to clean all the parts that we're going to reuse individually, and then we can inspect them as we're cleaning them. So it's hands on every part that we're going to reuse, and if they need replaced, we will replace them, put new on.
Wow.
We'll send it down to dry ice bay, and typically it takes us, each CPO is going to take us probably 60 to 75, 80 hours, and all that is.
Oh, wow.
It's because each one is in different condition. Some of them are dirtier than others. Some are cleaner. Some of them don't need as much work to restore to the condition of a CPO that we like to put out. And then once it leaves the dry ice bay, it'll go down the line. Mothership, we'll build the mothership on a stand just like they do in the factory here. And we'll install it, put it back together, put everything, run it through the test bay, make sure everything is correct and functioning correctly. Set pulsation, set the cup tilt and everything, put in the new software. And then once it leaves there, we'll go over it one more time. Sometimes we clean it up just a little bit more before we put it on a pallet, put all the stickers on, put all the gates on, and ship it out the door.
Okay. So that's incredible. 60 to 80 hours per unit. And it actually brings up a great question that was just posted. And again, I would encourage everybody, please send in your questions as they come in. The question was, what is the cost of a certified pre-owned versus as a new robot, roughly as a percentage? And so certified pre-owned units tend to be about up to 65% of the cost of new. So if you can get a brand new A5, we're coming in right around that 65% of new. So, and what do you get for that? You get, like Ryan and Zach had talked about, clean. You get updated parts where we're able to. A lot of new parts. I think Ryan and Zach have talked about the fact that a lot of these critical parts, right? Like we're looking for reliability, and so if there's thoroughly critical parts, we're replacing those where we can. And then we also we haven't talked about it to this point, but there's a warranty that comes along with that as well. Let's see here. I guess Lance, maybe we'll turn the question over to you. Once these units go through the reconditioning process, right? They get stripped down, they get cleaned, they get built back. How do we know that these robots are ready to start their new life on the next farm?
Yeah, as Zach mentioned, we put them through, and the team there in Pella puts them through a complete testing. They run through a test bay similar to the same one we use on our new A5 robots. And so before we would ship any CPO out to farm, it's gone through a full battery of testing. We've certified, as Ryan mentioned, the software is up to date. What we can test from functionality, we've tested it. And so, we put, hours of effort into making sure that machine, when it goes on farm, is going to operate at a very high quality and provide a ton of value to the farmer or to the customer it's going to. We, as I kind of mentioned earlier, we put a lot of time and effort into, what needs to be done to those machines, even if they're all snowflakes, as Ryan mentioned, right? Like here's, on everyone, regardless, we're replacing these parts. As they come in, as Zach talked about, there's different, hey, if we see something that's broken, our standard is you fix it. We're inspecting the frames, right? Like there's a ton of work that goes into it. And then this testing is part of that. Just because we've replaced the parts and updated the software, we want that confirmation or that certification that this machine is going to run very well on those farms.
And I think you're touching on the fact that we really want this. We want every one of these robots that goes out the door, that the farmer in the Lely Center has a consistent, exceptional experience with this. And one question that I'll ask you, Lance, we've talked about software. I've heard, Zach and Ryan have talked about software, but, I know that, and there's software that runs the robot, but then there's also the software that we interact with, the farmer interacts with. Is a certified pre-owned A4, what does the software, the herd management software, is that any different than what's available on the market today?
No, you would use the same Horizon product for your A4 as you CPO as you would a brand new A5. So that's the same. From a service perspective, right? The tools that your Lely Center would use to be able to monitor the performance of that robot. If it would happen to have a part fail, or we want to do optimization of the farm around, herd management, or even, the settings, all of that. It's all the same tool. Warranty. I know we may get into that, but like the same tools that your Lely Center uses for all your other Lely equipment is the same as you would use for your certified pre-owned. There's no different system, no different software that the farmer or the Lely Center would have to use to support or repair potentially any of the CPO units.
Okay. Now, Julie, you have the opportunity to talk to some folks that have been considering certified pre-owned robots, right, versus new and whatnot. And what are potentially some concerns, right? Because I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, this has gone through all these hours and they've been updated and so on and so forth, but folks still have concerns. Are there any specific things that have been brought up with you that you've had to field answers for?
Yeah, so I think just to attest to what the team has talked about so far. So my husband and I live just outside of Pella. We farm maybe 4 miles from the factory. So I've been in the refurb facility. I've seen the work that the team does on those. So everything that Lance and team has talked about, I think not only just provides confidence to the Lely Center and the end user, but also to the financing provider as well. So that just helps us feel really comfortable and confident in the equipment, which then just makes it a better financing experience as well. So outside of what we've talked about already in regards to financing questions, there's probably a couple that come up. The first one is collateral. So we're different than a traditional bank. We're an asset-based lender. So we only take a collateral position in the Lely equipment that we're financing. Sometimes the bank doesn't necessarily know how to underwrite the equipment or how to value the equipment on its own. Whereas, with Lely Finance, we have the 20 years or coming up on 20 years now of experience financing Lely equipment. We do not file a mortgage. We do not take land or cattle or additional collateral, into the request. We purely base our decisions on the Lely equipment, and that's our only collateral. So that's kind of a big one. The other question I get asked a lot is just the application process. So similar to any lender, we're going to need some information, credit application, financial statements, that kind of stuff. So anything that you would give to me would be the same information that your bank or whatever lender that you work with would be asking for. The difference is a couple of things. So our underwriting process is pretty fast. So depending on how many robots you're looking to purchase, from application to decision can be maybe 2 days for a smaller project, up to maybe 5 or 6 days on an Excel farm. So it's a really fast turn time.
Yeah.
We don't have credit committees. We have a team of underwriters who review our Lely transactions. And some of them have been in those roles for over a decade as well. So they have a long tenure experience of looking at dairies, understanding the request. Another thing too, we have our own capital. So we don't have lending constraints. No farm is too small or too big for us to work with. So if it's a single CPO or dozens of CPOs, there really isn't a constraint as far as how big of a project we can finance. And my job really is to understand what the farm needs. I like the term that we've used, snowflake. I think we've referred to that in regards to the robot itself, but all of your farms are snowflakes as well. Every one of you are unique in your own right, and you all have needs that might be different, right, from your neighbors. And so my job is to find out what it is that you're looking for from a financing perspective and build the financing around what you need that works well in your operation.
Okay, that's great. You know, we've got a question that's come up into the chat, and you know, it makes me think of this parts list and what does it mean to be certified and that sort of thing. One of the questions that came in was, are we willing to share what parts are on this robot, right? And Ryan, I might turn to you on this. You know, I know that we replace 100+ parts for these units when they go through the reconditioning process. But you know, with these snowflakes, it all changes, right? And there's as well these constant updates. So I guess what can you tell folks about, you know, the parts list and that certificate, right? I know that I don't know that we have one to share on the screen, but yeah, I guess can you walk through what we do certify and what do we share with the farmers?
Yeah, so the term snowflake continues to come up, and they come in that way, but the good thing is they don't go out that way. When they go back out, they are robots that have a controlled list of items that we do change on every single robot. And there is a list of those items that is on a certificate that comes with the robot that identifies those items, as well as Zach mentioned, that if we see something as we're going through the reconditioning process that needs to be changed, that maybe wasn't on the list, but we see that the life of it is not up to the standard that we have put in place for the certified pre-owned, we will replace that anyway. So it's not every robot gets the exact same items, but there is a list that says, hey, of these 100 parts, every one of them is going to get these 100. Yep. And they may get an additional 20, or they may get an additional 5 based on the condition of them as they came in. So the snowflake no more when they go out. One of my favorite things that happens is Zach and the reconditioning team, they have processes to ensure that when the robots go out, that when it comes to the wiring flow, you know, the wires and where they go, many times when they come in, there may have been a repair done on a farm that they needed to do in a hurry to test something and get them back going. And so they may have a wire that is kind of running in an awkward or a rapid pace that's kind of goes wherever. When we put it back together, we have a standard. So that robot, when it goes back out, if you put 2 certified pre-owned units side by side, you're going to recognize that wire flows in the same direction or same location. So it is a consistent, controlled process when they go back out. So as far as sharing that parts list of what those are, that's something that you can get more information from your sales team.
It's essentially, though, not necessarily a list of parts. It's the experience that you're going to have when you get this, right? Like we're providing a consistent robot, right? And like you said, there's a base number of things that are replaced that are critical. Many times they're updates of what is current technology, right? But it's our vision and it's our mission that these be as plug and play as possible, right? And so much so that we do offer a warranty with it. So
Ben, I was going to touch on that if I may.
Please.
So just to make sure everyone's clear on the warranty, it's our standard 1-year warranty. It is the exact same warranty that would come with a new A5 machine. So we're not just putting a warranty on the parts that have been replaced, but everything on that A4 robot unit is covered under that 1-year warranty. And, you know, to me, that's everything we've talked about, everything that it goes into turning, that snowflake into the standard A4 that comes off the line. That's why we have so much confidence and are willing to put, our standard warranty on these CPO units. And I think, you know, and to be clear also, like, you know, our first CPO in the field will be out for a year, a week from today. So we have machines out working on farm. We're getting a ton of feedback from Lely centers, from customers. We're monitoring the warranty data, performance data on these machines. I'm happy to say they're performing well, but when we do, or if we do see things, we make those changes there at the facility in Pella almost immediately. As Ryan talked about, we meet weekly to review, what's the best, you know, how do we continue to improve and ensure a high quality product that we have a ton of confidence in, and that, you know, we're excited to put a 1-year warranty on because we know it's going to work. So, you know, just because we had a parts list when we started the project, it's changed. And I think, the message to our customers would be the 1-year warranty is the same regardless of what parts we do or don't change on these machines.
That's great. And I'll ask kind of one further question on this topic about parts, because it did come out in our field research, right? Look, we're suggesting folks buy certified pre-owned A4 robot. The A4 is not on the production line today, but I'm hearing that there's some A5 parts on there, right? Like, what sort of things should farmers be thinking about, like when it comes to spare parts availability, right? And I'd actually open this up to both you, Ryan, and Lance, both, right? If you guys want to provide some feedback on that, but what can we tell? I mean, certified pre-owned, they come with a 1-year warranty, but are spare parts going to be unavailable next year, or what sort of things should folks be considering when they're thinking about the longevity and the likelihood that they'll be able to keep these machines running?
Go ahead, Lance. I'll let you start.
You know, I think overall, you know, to be honest, we haven't been given an end date of parts availability on the A4 yet from you know, so in terms of spare parts availability, I foresee having spare parts available for, you know, years to come. There is, as you mentioned, right, a lot of those spare parts that can be used on A4s and A5s. The central units that contain the vacuum and the chemicals in you know, it's the central unit can be used on A4s and A5s. And so in terms of, you know, if you want to think of an A4, you know, end of life or end of support, that's going to be a long ways off before we would get there. Yeah.
Well, and that brings up another question. So somebody buys an A4 certified pre-owned today because it's a cost, you know, it's an economical option, but they want to think about updating later on down the road. You mentioned central unit. You know, we know that the barn has to be built for an A4. Are they then sunk? Did they invest a bunch of resources and space and infrastructure into something that's going to be difficult to update later on? I guess, what can you tell us about like footprint and infrastructure and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the footprint,
Layers, yep.
The footprint from an A4 to an A5 is identical. You know, as we talked about, there are Lely centers out there. Members of my team have helped and supported Lely centers in exchanging A4s to A5s. And so this is, I would say, becoming a more common practice in the product development teams, in terms of, designing future machines to be able to exchange out very easily without, additional costs beyond the replacement of the robot unit. I don't, I'm not a part of the product development team, but I think that concept of, being able to exchange one model of astronaut for the next, I think is something they're cognizant of and continue to engineer for.
Okay. There's an interesting question in the chat right now, and I'm going to paraphrase it slightly, but when somebody goes to order, Ryan, are you guys just building stock units today, or how can a farmer, do they call us up? Do they call you up? How do we get one ordered? And then and then maybe you can talk about that, and then I'll talk about pricing and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so the farmer will still go through the same channels they would to make a purchase of an A5. So they'll go through their Lely centers. They can get more information about this online as well, about these products. But we currently are building them to order. So the plan is to have some of them that are a stock item, where we can say we've got a handful of them that are already ready. But thankfully, the sales has been going very well, and the robots aren't sitting around in the warehouse long. So they are being built to order. So I know there's only a few options. You've got your left hand versus right hand, and then you've got your certified pre-owned or certified pre-owned plus, which you can find all that information on the website or through your local Lely center. But that order process is identical.
So it's not that we necessarily, I mean, it'd be nice to have some stock units available, but right now a farmer works with their local Lely center. The local Lely center actually calls our order desk and says, hey, I need a certified pre-owned left hand with a specific tag reader. And then you guys actually are able to take an inventory of as-is units and then go from there, right? And what is roughly the turnaround time, right? I guess essentially, I mean, it's 80 hours in reconditioning and that sort of thing, but yeah. What would you think?
Yeah, the turnaround time on that still has some variable in it, depending on how many orders we've gotten in the system at the time. But typically you're talking at least 4 weeks, and I would say that is best case scenario right now until we get our stocks built up and get ahead on these. So. That, like I said, they can take longer depending on if somebody calls and orders one today. I can't say that I can have you a robot in 4 weeks from today, just due to the fact that we do have open orders right now. So it's still a quicker turnaround than what you're seeing for a new product based on the order book. But our goal is to get it to where we have something that somebody could get a hold of much quicker.
Okay. So to me, that's the important part, right? Is if somebody has demand and interest in getting one, please reach out to your Lely centers to work with them to try to figure out when we can get them for you. And I guess I'll go back to from a pricing perspective, we are constantly reviewing the market and monitoring the market. We do know that certified pre-owned comes in somewhere in the neighborhood of 65% of new. So whatever is available in the new market, the A5, then that's usually about where this product, when we do the math and look at percentages, that's kind of where it comes out at. So we're constantly looking at that. But I feel like we're really in a good place, just given the amount of reconditioning that goes on and the warranty and that sort of thing. we've got about 10 minutes to go, and I wanted to go around the horn if we could, and just kind of ask a question. And please, I would encourage folks while you're out in the group, those listeners online, think about any other questions that you have, because again, you've got the finance people and the warranty and technical folks, as well as the folks actually in the reconditioning center. But if I go around the horn, and maybe Zach, I'll start with you, but how do you feel certified pre-owned can offer farmers and Lely centers a peace of mind? Like, what is it about the process, or what is it? I mean, you see these things every day. Like, just give us your thoughts.
Well, like you said, I see them every day, and I know how much work and time and effort gets put into these from all the guys that I work with, and like all the upgrades that we put into it. It's a really good robot that's going back out, and some of these when they came in, and knowing that, like, I worked on them 10 years ago, and they got 10 years out of what we did 10 years ago. And when they go out now, they're going to get at least another 10 out of them, more than likely. And it's really rewarding.
So you feel great about the process, right?
Yes, I do feel really confident about the process, and that it's also evolving every day to get better.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Julie, how does certified pre-owned, how are we offering peace of mind with this product?
So I grew up in a farm family. I married into a farm family. And I think as a producer, your leg is your farm, right? And the story that you're writing for the future. Part of that is making good financial decisions. And I think with everything that we've learned today about CPOs and combining that with tailored financing solutions with Lely Finance, your farm's going to be set up for success. So I think that is, for me, probably the thing that I'm most excited about. Again, just investing into the future of your farm. And I think you have really good options here with the certified pre-owned robot. And would certainly love to be a part of watching the success on your farm for the future.
Awesome. Lance, same thing for you. How does certified pre-owned offer peace of mind? How do you feel like we're doing that?
Yeah. I guess where I have gained a lot of confidence is in the last year watching the machines perform out in the field. And so, we talked a lot about the effort that went into designing the program, everything that Zach and Ryan are doing to, make sure that, before we send them out, that they're going to work well. And now as we start to see them operate in the field and see them perform at a very high quality and very well, like, I have the peace of mind that we're doing the right thing and providing a ton of value to our customers.
Awesome. Great feedback. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, so I put a personal touch on this, and that when we first started talking about this program, we compared it to like maybe the used car industry a little bit. And there's a lot of great trucks and cars out there that have a lot of life left in them. And personally, I typically, when I get a new vehicle, I don't buy new. I like the item that has been tried and tested and gone through, and just the life the product has left in it. It's just great to get them back out into the market and see them on the road for a long time. And this is the same thing. These robots have a lot of life left in them, and they will continue to improve the life of the farmer and the life of the cows. So we want to do the best we can to get them back out in the market and help them out that way. So it's still a great product.
That's great.
For sure.
Yeah, and to me that, for me personally, I feel like I align a lot with what everybody has said here, and I feel like, the fact that we do go through these and they get the warranty and they get the similar financing terms and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's peace of mind, and it's just because we've gone through them and we do stand behind them. So, yeah, I'm excited because I'm the used buyer, and kind of to further one of the things that Ryan talked about. One of the things I hope folks gather from this particular webinar series is that this isn't just taking an as-is unit that goes through and passes some tests. To Zach's point, we strip these things all the way down to the frame, build them back better, and put them back out into the market for an extended life. So I'm super excited. We're getting more questions coming in. I'll put this one to the top because this one is from my backyard, essentially, out in Utah. But the question was, what is the difference between the certified pre-owned and certified pre-owned plus? And I would say that we have two models, and one is the essential componentry, right? It's the robot, it's the tag reader, a feed dispenser, the gates, and so on and so forth. You still do need to buy a sensor unit. You can find an A4 sensor unit that will go with it. Even a brand new A5 sensor unit actually runs with a certified pre-owned. But the differences between the two models, you get the essentials with the standard, and then we took the most commonly ordered parts off of our A4s and A5s, and that gives you the MQCC and feed presence sensor. So we added, as well as a second feed type that has our commodity feeder in it. So you're getting in that plus version the most readily or most often ordered parts between the two. Again, reach out to your Lely Center, ask any questions. They can give you more details about that. Another question that came in, are there any other CPO products? And do we expect potentially to see A5s become available in the next few years? Lely is serious about our market and the farms and what we offer. And as our install base grows, we're excited that folks do say, hey, I had this older piece of equipment, I want a new one, right? And so what happens to that old piece of equipment? Well, we're trying to drive adoption. We want to see more and more folks using technology and using automation. So where we can step in, and this is our first advancement into this new product category. Lely is doing certified pre-owned A4s, and absolutely we are considering looking at all of our products within the Lely portfolio to be considered for certified pre-owned. So I guess my answer to that would be, stay tuned because it is something that we're looking at. And then will there be an A5 version of certified pre-owned as well? There again, we're looking intently at this. Right now, certified pre-owned A4 is the option, but we have a facility, we're doing this, we're getting a lot of excitement about it, and sales are good, and so I would envision that we would continue to look at this and how we could apply this to A5s going forward. So, any other questions out there? We've gone through what that have come in, and I feel like we've all kind of hit on the big topics, and we're also at the top of the hour. Does anybody else have anything to say? If we wanted to give this 1 or 2 more minutes, just to give folks another second or two to submit lasting questions. Anybody else have anything to interject? I'm just looking. No?
I'll just maybe add something. I was thinking about earlier. So when we were talking about how you place the order, right? Working with the Lely Center, you place the order. We match up the delivery time kind of based on what's available and when you actually need the equipment. So As far as getting a hold of Lely Finance, it kind of works the same way. So work with your Lely Center. They can get you in contact with me to talk about, what you're looking for, what options are available, etc. We do like to get the approval on the equipment around the same time that you place your order. So again, encourage you to reach out to your local Lely Center and get me involved in the conversation.
Okay, great. One last one that came in, and farm expectations. Zach, you've seen these things come in and you've seen them go back out the door. I did just want to touch on this. We've talked about how clean these are and updated these are and new decals and whatnot. But can you give folks a little bit of expectation setting? Are they going to see scratches and that sort of thing? Like, yeah, what can you kind of establish for folks with that?
Yeah, like you said, these are like we say like new.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're gonna have scratches. That we don't repassivate the frames, so they get scratched.
Mm-hmm.
We respray the panels. That's the only thing we spray.
Yeah.
They weld from their milk lines that come out. They've welded new brackets for hoods to go up. So we got to cut those off and grind those down. That way they're not sharp. They don't hurt the cows or anything like that. So they look really good, but they don't look like a brand new, perfectly just passivated, repainted robot.
Okay. I think that's a good thing to make mention of, right? Like, we're super proud of these. We do feel like these are plug and play, but every once we can't undo the welding per se, other than, to cut it off, and we do the best what we can there. But I did want to throw that out. Another question that has come in regarding the E-Link, right? And what the E-Link is from this picture on the screen is the black screen, and that's kind of your interaction with the robot itself. These are still A4 robots, and so the E-Link is the same A4 E-Link that's available. So the new kind of more iPhone-ish type graphics and navigation is on the A5. But great question, thank you. Okay, I don't hear any other questions. If you do, anybody, please start with your Lely Center. That's the best place you can go to for information. You can also look at our site online. We have a pre-ownedlelyna.com for folks to go and look at some of the inventory that we do have. There's frequently asked questions and considerations, benefits. Please go check that out, do some research. There's testimonials on YouTube. Look at all the information that we have to try to help you guys make informed decisions going forward. So yeah, I enjoyed the time together today. Thank you all. And I guess I will say that we can wrap it up here. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.